The desperate call. The morning shift at orbital station Epsilon 7 was supposed to be routine. Communications officer Zara Voss monitored the deep space channels while sipping her third cup of coffee. The station floated silently in the void between star systems, serving as humanity's listening post for the outer rim territories. Most days brought nothing but static and automated cargo manifests. Today was different. A weak signal pierced through the cosmic background noise, carrying with it a sound that made Zara's blood run cold. The transmission was broken, filled with interference, but the terror in the alien voice was unmistakable. The speaker was clearly non-human. The voice had a musical quality, like wind chimes in a gentle breeze, but it was shaking with fear. Zara quickly routed the signal through the translation matrix, her fingers dancing across the holographic controls. Unknown ships attacking our settlements. They are burning everything. Please, anyone who can hear this. The voice broke into what sounded like sobbing. Our children are hiding in the underground shelters. The attackers are taking prisoners. We have no weapons and no defenses. Zara's hands froze over her console. She had been monitoring space communications for 8 years, but she had never heard anything like this. The desperation in that alien voice cut through her like a blade. She traced the signal's origin point and felt her stomach drop. The transmission came from the Kepler 442 system, a peaceful agricultural world inhabited by a species called the Melodians. The Melodians were known throughout the galaxy for their gentle nature and beautiful music. They had no military, no weapons, no way to defend themselves against raiders. They grew food and composed symphonies that could make even the hardest warriors weep with their beauty. Zara immediately forwarded the distress call to her superior, Captain Marcus Webb. Webb was a veteran of the Outer Rim conflicts, a man who had seen too much violence in his 40-year career. When he heard the recording, his weathered face grew grim. How far away are they? Webb asked, his voice tight with controlled anger. 18 light-years, sir. Deep in uncharted space. Zara pulled up the star charts on her display. There are no human colonies within 50 light-years of their position. Webb studied the tactical display, his mind racing through possibilities. The Melodian world was far beyond human territory, in a region where pirates and slavers operated freely. Most spacefaring species avoided the area entirely, considering it too dangerous and unprofitable to patrol. Sir, Zara said quietly, the transmission is getting weaker. If someone doesn't help them soon. Webb nodded grimly. He had spent his career protecting human settlements from raiders and pirates. The idea of innocent beings suffering while he stood by doing nothing went against everything he believed in. But Kepler 442 was outside human jurisdiction, outside their area of responsibility. Send the distress call to Earth Command, Webb ordered. Let them decide what to do. The decision. Earth Command's war room buzzed with tension as Admiral Victoria Cross reviewed the Melodian distress call for the third time. The massive display screens showed tactical maps of human space, with red markers indicating known pirate activity. The Kepler 442 system sat far beyond their borders, a tiny dot in the vast darkness. General Harrison Stone, head of the Terran Defense Force, leaned back in his chair with a frown. Admiral, with respect, this isn't our problem. We have our own colonies to protect. Cross turned to face the general, her steel-gray eyes flashing with anger. These are innocent people, General. They are being slaughtered while we debate jurisdiction. They are not people, they are aliens, Stone replied coldly. And they are 18 light-years away. By the time we get there, it'll be over. Cross had commanded the human fleet for 12 years, leading them through the Titan Wars and the Proxima Rebellion. She had made the hard decisions that kept humanity safe, but she had never turned her back on those who needed help. The Melodian transmission played again, and she felt her resolve harden. Captain James Mitchell, she called to her aid. "What's the status of the 7th Fleet?" Mitchell, a young officer with sharp intelligence, quickly accessed his datapad. "Currently docked at Mars Station for resupply. 3 heavy cruisers, 6 destroyers, and the carrier Defiant. They could be ready for jump in 6 hours. And the 12th Fleet? Patrolling the Vega sector. 4 cruisers, 8 destroyers, full complement of fighters." Cross walked to the main display, studying the positions of human forces. If she committed 2 full fleets to this rescue mission, it would leave several human colonies with reduced protection. It was a calculated risk that could have serious consequences. General Stone stood up, his face red with frustration. "Admiral, I strongly advise against this course of action. We have no intelligence on enemy strength, no support from other species, and no strategic value in that system. The strategic value is showing the galaxy that humanity stands for something," Cross replied firmly. "That we don't abandon innocent beings to slavers and murderers." The room fell silent. Every officer present understood the weight of the decision. Committing major fleet resources to rescue aliens would send a message throughout the galaxy about human values. It would also paint a target on humanity's back. Commander Lisa Park, the fleet's intelligence officer, spoke up. "Admiral, I've been analyzing the attack patterns. Based on the Melodian descriptions, this appears to be a Vorthan raiding fleet." Cross's expression darkened. The Vorthans were a militaristic species known for their brutality. They attacked weak colonies, enslaved the survivors, and stripped worlds of their resources. They were also technologically advanced, with ships that could match human vessels in combat. "How many ships are we talking about?" Cross asked. "Estimated 12 to 15 vessels, including at least 3 heavy cruisers," Park replied. "Standard Vorthan raiding formation." The Admiral looked around the room at her officers. These men and women had served under her through humanity's darkest hours. They had never backed down from a fight, never abandoned their principles for the sake of convenience. "Gentlemen, ladies," Cross said quietly, "I didn't join the fleet to protect only humans. I joined to protect the innocent, wherever they might be." She turned to Mitchell. "Send orders to the 7th and 12th fleets. Full mobilization. We jump for Kepler, 442 in 8 hours." The fleet mobilizes. The shipyards of Mars Station erupted into controlled chaos as Admiral Cross's orders spread through the fleet. Dock workers scrambled to load ammunition and supplies while engineers performed last-minute systems checks. The smell of ozone and hot metal filled the air as massive fusion drives warmed up for the long journey ahead. Captain David Reynolds stood on the bridge of the heavy cruiser Thunderstrike, watching the frantic activity through the viewports. His ship was the flagship of the 7th Fleet, a vessel that had seen action in every major human conflict of the past decade. Reynolds was a veteran commander, known for his tactical brilliance and unwavering loyalty to his crew. "Captain," called his executive officer, Commander Rachel Torres, "all departments report ready for departure." Reynolds nodded, then opened a channel to the rest of the fleet. "All ships, this is Thunderstrike. We are about to undertake a mission that will test everything we've learned about warfare and humanity's place in the galaxy. Across the fleet, thousands of crew members listened to their captain's words. In the engine rooms, technicians monitored the massive reactors that would power their journey. In the weapons bays, gunners checked targeting systems and loaded torpedo tubes. In the medical sections, doctors prepared for the casualties that would inevitably come. The destroyer Falcon, under Captain Emma Rodriguez, was the first to report jump-ready status. Rodriguez was one of the youngest ship commanders in the fleet, but she had proven herself during the asteroid belt campaigns. Her ship was fast and deadly, perfect for the hit-and-run tactics that would be needed against Vorthan raiders. All ships, prepare for hyperspace jump, Reynolds announced. Remember, we are not just fighting for victory. We are fighting to show the galaxy that humanity keeps its word. The fleet's 18 ships aligned in perfect formation, their hulls gleaming under the harsh light of Sol. Each vessel represented years of human engineering and determination. The heavy cruisers were built like floating fortresses, their armor designed to withstand the most powerful weapons. The destroyers were sleek and fast, capable of outmaneuvering larger enemy ships. In the carrier Defiance hangar bay, Commander Nathan Price briefed his fighter pilots. The men and women under his command were among the best in human space, trained to fly in conditions that would kill most alien pilots. Their fighters were small but deadly, equipped with the latest weapons and shield technology. Listen up, people, Price said to the assembled pilots. We are going up against Vorthans. They are tough, they are mean, and they don't take prisoners. But they've never faced human fighters before. They don't know what we are capable of. Lieutenant Sarah Kim, the squadron's youngest pilot, raised her hand. Sir, what about the Melodians? How do we tell them apart from the enemy? Price smiled grimly. The Melodians will be the ones running away from the Vorthans, Lieutenant. Our job is to make sure they have somewhere safe to run to. The hyperspace jump began with a low thrumming that seemed to come from the very fabric of space itself. One by one, the human ships disappeared into the swirling vortex of hyperspace, their destinations locked onto a distant star system where innocent beings waited for salvation. As the fleet traveled through the void between dimensions, Admiral Cross stood in the command center of her flagship, studying intelligence reports about Vorthan tactics. The enemy was known for their aggressive approach to combat, preferring to overwhelm opponents with superior numbers and firepower, but the Vorthans had never fought humans before. They didn't know about humanity's talent for improvisation, their refusal to surrender even when outnumbered, or their willingness to sacrifice everything to protect the innocent. Battle in the void. The human fleet dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Kepler 442 system, and what they saw made every crew member's blood boil. The beautiful blue-green world of the Melodians was burning. Columns of smoke rose from the surface, visible even from space, while Vorthan ships hung in orbit like vultures over a dying animal. Captain Reynolds immediately ordered a tactical scan. The enemy force was larger than intelligence had predicted. 15 Vorthan vessels patrolled the system, including 4 heavy cruisers and a massive command ship that bristled with weapons. Worst of all, several ships were clearly loaded with prisoners, their holds packed with captured Melodians. Admiral Reynolds reported to Cross, "We're outnumbered, but not outgunned. Recommend we hit them hard and fast before they can organize a proper defense." Cross studied the tactical display, her mind racing through possibilities. The Vorthans held the advantage of position, but they were spread out across the system. If the humans could divide their forces and attack multiple targets simultaneously, they might be able to create enough chaos to rescue the prisoners. All Ships, this is Admiral Cross. We are going to hit them from 3 directions at once. 7th Fleet takes the orbital group. 12th Fleet moves to intercept the ships near the outer planets. Fighter squadrons, your target is the prison ships. The battle began with a devastating alpha strike from the human fleet. The Thunderstrike and her sister ships emerged from hyperspace already firing, their weapons blazing across the void. The Vorthans, caught off guard by the sudden appearance of human vessels, scrambled to respond. Captain Rodriguez's destroyer Falcon led the charge against the prison ships, her crew working with deadly precision. The ship's engine screamed as it accelerated to attack speed, pushing the crew back into their seats with forces that would have crushed most alien species. Weapons officer, target their engines only, Rodriguez ordered. We need those ships intact with the prisoners inside. The Falcon's gun spoke with thunder, sending concentrated bursts of energy into the enemy vessels. The Vorthan ships tried to maneuver, but they were too heavy with prisoners to move effectively. One by one, their engines died under the human assault. Meanwhile, Commander Price's fighters swept through the enemy formation like a swarm of angry hornets. The small craft were too fast and maneuverable for the Vorthan gunners to track effectively. They struck at weapon systems and shield generators, systematically dismantling the enemy's ability to fight back. The Vorthan command ship, a massive vessel named the Bloodfang, turned its attention to the Thunderstrike. Its captain, a veteran raider named Krex, had never seen ships like these before. The human vessels moved with a fluid grace that seemed impossible for such large craft, their crews pulling maneuvers that should have been fatal. Return fire! Krex roared, his scaled hands gripping the command console. Destroy them all! The Bloodfang's weapons erupted in a storm of energy, but the Thunderstrike was already moving. Captain Reynolds had anticipated the enemy's response, and his ship danced between the incoming fire like a leaf in a hurricane. All batteries, concentrate fire on their command bridge, Reynolds ordered. Let's end this quickly. The human fleet's superior training and technology began to tell. One by one, Vorthan ships were disabled or destroyed. The prison ships, their engines crippled, drifted helplessly while human marines prepared to board them and free the captives, but the Vorthans were not finished. Krex, seeing his fleet being systematically destroyed, made a desperate decision. He ordered his remaining ships to target the planet's surface, threatening to bombard the remaining Melodian cities unless the humans withdrew. Human Commander, Krex's voice crackled over the communication channel, retreat now, or we will turn this world into a wasteland. Admiral Cross's response was immediate and chilling. Vorthan vessel, this is Admiral Cross of the Terran Defense Force. If you fire one shot at that planet, I will personally ensure that your species remembers this day as the beginning of their extinction. Heroes return. The threat to bombard the planet's surface galvanized the human fleet into action. Admiral Cross's ships moved with unprecedented coordination, each vessel working as part of a larger organism dedicated to protecting the innocent. The Vorthans had made their final mistake by threatening civilian targets. Captain Reynolds positioned the Thunderstrike between the enemy command ship and the planet below. His vessel's shields glowed white-hot as they absorbed the Bloodfangs. Desperate attacks. The human ship's armor, forged in the shipyards of Earth, held firm against weapons that had shattered entire fleets. Reported Commander Torres, the Vorthans are breaking formation. 3 ships attempting to escape to hyperspace. Let them go, Cross replied coldly. They'll spread the word about what happens when you attack innocent people while humans are watching. The battle's turning point came when Commander Price's fighters penetrated the Bloodfang's defenses. The small craft swarmed over the massive vessel like antibodies attacking a virus, their weapons finding every weak point in the enemy's armor. Within minutes, the Vorthan flagship was a burning wreck, its crew evacuating in escape pods, Krex himself was pulled from the wreckage by human rescue teams. The Vorthan commander expected to be executed, but instead found himself in the Thunderstrike's medical bay, receiving treatment for his injuries. The concept of showing mercy to defeated enemies was alien to his warrior culture. Why? Krex asked Dr. Jennifer Hayes, the ship's chief medical officer, as she treated his wounds. Why not kill me? Hayes looked at the alien with a mixture of disgust and pity. Because we are not like you. We don't kill helpless prisoners. While the fleet secured the remaining Vorthan vessels, Marine boarding parties began the delicate task of freeing the captured Melodians. The prison ship's holds were cramped and filthy, designed to transport sentient beings like cargo. Many of the prisoners were injured or sick, having been confined for weeks without proper care. Major Frank Collins led the rescue operation aboard the largest prison ship. The Melodians were small, delicate beings with iridescent wings and large, expressive eyes. They cowered in terror when the armored Marines first appeared, but Collins quickly removed his helmet to show his human face. "We are here to help," he said gently, his voice translated by the ship's computer. "You're safe now." The Melodians' reaction was immediate and overwhelming. They began to sing, their voices joining in a harmonious melody that seemed to fill the entire ship with hope. The sound was so beautiful that several of the hardened Marines felt tears running down their faces. Within hours, the Vorthan fleet was either destroyed or captured. The human ships began the process of evacuating wounded Melodians to their medical facilities while engineering teams worked to repair the damage to the planet's surface. What had begun as a simple rescue mission had become something much larger. News of the battle spread quickly through the galaxy. For the first time, a major spacefaring species had risked their entire fleet to save aliens they had never met. The action sent shockwaves through the galactic community, forcing other species to reconsider their assumptions about humanity. Ambassador Lyra, one of the rescued Melodians and a respected leader among her people, requested a meeting with Admiral Cross. The elderly alien's wings were damaged from her captivity, but her spirit remained unbroken. "Admiral Cross," Lyra said, her musical voice carrying across the Thunderstrike's conference room, "my people have no way to repay this debt. You risked everything to save us." Cross smiled, her stern expression softening. "Ambassador, the only payment we want is your promise to keep making your beautiful music. The galaxy needs more beauty and less violence." As the human fleet prepared to return to Earth, they carried with them more than just rescued prisoners. They carried the knowledge that they had changed the fundamental nature of galactic politics. No longer would raiders and slavers be able to operate with impunity, knowing that somewhere in the galaxy, humans were watching and ready to respond. The Melodians would remember this day for generations, composing symphonies about the brave humans who answered their desperate call. But more importantly, the entire galaxy would remember that when innocent beings cried out for help, humanity had answered with thunderous firepower and unwavering courage. 1 SOS had been all it took. Humanity had shown the stars what they stood for, and the galaxy would never be the same.